Hola mi gente, and welcome to Chateau Bow Wow. I am Geraldo J. Uscategui. I am your host, and today I have the pleasure and honor of welcoming Los Antonio, creative producer out of Aventura, Florida. Awesome dude, very talented. Los.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me on the show.
No doubt. Brother.
Much appreciated. Thank you so much, brother.
Tell the world a little bit about yourself. A lot of people know you. A lot of people follow you. Tell us something we don't know.
Man, my name is Los Antonio. I'm a creative producer. I produce content, products, community, things like that. I've done clothing. Marketing is at my core. Digital strategy is at my core. And, for me, it's just been amazing to go through that journey and fall in love with different parts of it. But at my core, call me a creative producer because I don't want to put myself in a box. It's like
Sure.
I like to produce whatever I'm passionate about, and we can start there.
We can start there.
We can start there.
Now you've been at this for a while, right? What do you think has changed over the years? If you could, pinpoint anything that's changed in your strategy over the years, what do you think has changed for you?
Well, that's a great place to start because a lot of things have changed, right? I've been in this industry for about maybe like 15, 16 years. And we've gone through, as a society, many different ways that people like to connect. Mm-hmm. So starting with the pandemic, right?
That was a game changer.
Yeah, man. People lost human connection. So even to record this podcast with you now, we're in person, right? We could have done this online, but bringing personal connection back is clearly an indicator that people want to be together. So how that translates for, my running initiatives with local run clubs, it's like you see how much people want to be together. People want to be motivated together. People want to be amongst people. So, in a world where physical connections were shut down, after that, now you see a rise of people wanting to be together. So for me as a digital marketer, as a strategist, as a community leader, you shift all your efforts around things that, bring people together and that make people feel good and make people feel safe and seen. And so that's like a running kind of vision. But if you're thinking about marketing for, a wellness center like I do, or you're thinking about ways to, if you're working with a music artist, the marketing strategy there should reflect the times. So the times we're in right now, people want to be together. People want to be healthy. People want to be motivated. So, whereas when I first came into the industry, 2013, people wanted to be together, but people were also standing in venues in the clubs and just kind of
popping bottles.
Give me my bottles in my section and get away from me.
Right.
So we didn't really value the interpersonal connections that we had at that time. Right. It was very much taken for granted. So to answer your question, I think things have changed over the past 15, 16 years, and they changed again. 5-6 years ago, with the pandemic. The pandemic was 7 years ago at this point. I don't even know.
It's about 6 years ago. Yeah. Well, we're social creatures, right? And there's a lot of studies that the differences in people when they're together with somebody and what we crave, because honestly, family and friends is stuff that we don't know we need, but we need.
Yeah.
But it's stuff that we need.
It's very true.
So I started following you guys. Obviously, we met through. I met Griselda Val first, Chachi. Then I met when Melissa was managing Chachi, and then I met you, and we all kind of interconnected.
Absolutely.
And I'm a big proponent of things Latino. I always say Latino just push, because we're here and we're part of this population, and we have so much to add. We have so much to say. We have so many things that we bring. Even though it's a different culture, we bring the culture here with us.
That's right.
And, some things that weren't taught to us, like I said, health, for instance, because our diets were terrible, right? I mean,
Big
we
time.
grew up on fried food, you know, it was delicious. Don't get me wrong. And obviously, I just know
We love it.
Obviously, I was not shy around fried foods or tacos,
Yeah.
you know. But
Same.
but that kind of stuff is, again, you have to eat that in moderation. When you eat it every day, it's terrible. You know, like every day, it's just bad for you over time.
Yeah.
You know? So that's my segue into your health and wellness and the things that you're doing. I'm watching you. You're running all over the world, and that's awesome to watch you do it.
Thank you, man.
It's very impressive because you shed some weight. You're kind of leaner now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And tell me about that. How's that process with the health and wellness? You know, and what have you done from the things you're used to doing in the past?
Man, dude, I really thank God for, you know, bringing me closer to health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta give props to Melissa, to wifey, man, because she definitely jump started that journey by finding some like nice, cute, fluffy nicknames for me when I wasn't so healthy. You know, I wasn't so healthy at a point in time, but that definitely jump started my journey, man. And I started it, you know, and I never looked back. And that went from encouraging me to be more active, running more, and then starting a whole running community and kind of being fully ingratiated in that. And then, you know, to where I'm at now with working with a longevity center called Liquid Vita. It is they have about 40 locations across the country. They're a franchise business and a full-on longevity center where they do body optimization, mind optimization, weight loss, body composition, you know, blood work, peptides, hormone replacement, aesthetics, the whole nine. So, you know, it's been amazing because you're 100% right. You know, like if you would have seen photos of me 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I look completely different. And we're going to put one of those photos up here now. So, you know, for me, man, it's been amazing to embrace that, learn more, right? Like I have started from ground zero with like learning about how these different modalities help different things in your body, and going to these conventions and not being the smartest guy in the room and being open to being ignorant and asking questions.
Right.
You know, you learn about the food system, and to your point, man, how the foods that we were taught to love weren't really the best for us. And then, you know, you see, you know, you start reading you flip in the pack and you're reading the label and you're like, what is all this extra stuff in here?
Yeah, all these chemicals, yeah.
Chemicals that are in there. And there's a reason why we love sazon and adobo so much. It's because it's got a bunch of additives in there that are like, you know, it's like, no, it's like crack.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, and finding, just the same way in life, you're finding healthier alternatives to live. Now we're at the grocery store, we're looking for healthier alternatives in the cabinet, you know, because that's where it starts. That's where it starts, man. And it's been amazing to bring that into the household from the office, from these conventions, and bring these learnings home, man. And, you know, Melissa, even our son Soul, you know, where we give him certain things and Melissa takes certain things that are great for her, you know. We're not, I don't know if you know this, Geraldo, but we're not spring chickens.
No, I'm older than you, so I know it. I know it, man.
You know, we're trying to protect and preserve the temple that God has given us, man. And, you know, health now more than ever is wealth, you know?
Yeah. Well, now people have used this term before, and again, you just touched on it also. What is exactly biohacking?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have any definition. Is that you, Vibrant? I think.
Yeah, I think I might. Sorry about it. Biohacking is pretty much the process of, when I say hacking, it's like finding ways to manipulate your health or your health practices to extend the shelf life and to also reverse aging,
right,
in some capacity, right?
I hear you, yeah.
And for some people, like, it may be a bit extreme. And the amazing thing about biohacking is that you automatically think about like expensive equipment, expensive routines, but it's like you can start biohacking right now. Go outside, put your feet in the grass, stand in the sun for 30 minutes.
The grounding.
Grounding.
Yeah.
You're taking in natural sunlight. You know, you can start anywhere. But biohacking essentially is, you know, a practice that is rooted in, you know, holistic forms of, you know, medicine that are intentionally meant to put life back in your body, you know, non-invasive treatments, things that also go against what like big pharma, what the hospital system, you know, wants you to do, stay on their, you know, sick care program and keep ringing that register for more drugs. And
it's a treadmill.
You know, so for me, biohacking is just that. It's just certain practices that put more life into your body, that can extend your shelf life, that can help be preventative for injury and proactive for disease.
Yeah, it's funny because I got the term grounding because when we were building the studio, my producer Manny Cabo came here. And he's outside, standing outside in the grass in bare feet. I'm like, what are you doing?
Good stuff, man. I love that, man.
I'm like Huckleberry Finn. What are you doing out there? Right? And he's sitting there, and it just makes sense, you know. He's sitting there, he's getting grounded, and he's taking some sun in. And I'm like, you know, so it's the second time I hear that in the past 2 months, and I'm like, you know, man, I got to try that. You know? You know, unfortunately, I have but you guys are very lucky because I have a very deadly fire ant situation outside.
Oh!
So you go out there barefoot, you might die. But they're mean, man. They're mean.
Yeah.
But it's awesome because it's the second time I hear that. I'm like, I gotta try that. You know. Listen, you know, a lot of our health issues, some things are, you know, again, they're just biological, they're hereditary. You can do anything about. But what I've learned, and, you know, I've had some issues and stuff. You know, it's a lot of it is behavioral. The shit we take in our body.
Yeah.
You know, you can't keep cashing those checks. You know, because you know you're gonna. So you know, I've learned that's why I don't know if you know, but I don't drink, I don't smoke. You know, I look 4 times before I cross the street. I mean, I gotta be super careful about everything because my metabolism is like off. I think you know what I mean. I look a little better now because I dropped some weight because I'm off the medications. And
Come on.
Yeah. So I got to get myself now into walking again and stuff. And trust me, I watch you guys and I watch, you know, I watch Melissa working on, she's pouring, sweating, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, God damn, looks, I want to do that, you know, but I'm afraid I'll die. But you're running all over the world and I watch you, like, you know, your marathons and stuff. Tell me about that. What's that experience like? Because you run a full marathon now, right?
Yeah.
Several?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yep. I've done about 5 now, and it's amazing, man. And you know, just like any journey in life, it starts with something small, and then you gain the confidence to do bigger things. And you know, my relationship with running, graduating to full marathons, has been nothing but, you know, just trusting the process and training and preparing to run those marathons. And it's amazing because, you know, the word marathon, you know, the story behind a marathon was that like there was a I think like it was a Greek Times, there was a guy that ran 26.2 miles to deliver a message to tell some folks that like, hey, you know, like either like the war is coming or like the war is over. I can't remember it right like now.
Greek Paul Revere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then the guy like died after that. He told him, he like gave the message and then he died. That was it. But for me, running a marathon, it is about the message. Mm-hmm. So like I always come out of every marathon and I'm like, all right, Los, what was the message? What did you had, you know, 26.2 miles with yourself in this battle. Like what was the message this time? So every time I've ran a marathon, it's always been at like a different point in life. So for me, it's a privilege, and I look forward to running those marathons because it's like, what's the message, you know? But yeah, it's amazing, man. And I think I've ran marathons by myself. I've ran marathons with other people. I've ran marathons with groups. So each time it's always been something different. So whether it's a different experience, a different message that I'm getting out of it, you know, I just appreciate the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get back into running the groups. I want to delve more into when you're running by yourself. I have an inner voice. Sometimes it says crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of times it's just that self-dialogue. And I imagine, like, when I drive, I drive back and forth to Florida and to Pennsylvania, New York a lot, and that's my downtime. So I put on my podcast and I put on my music, and I put the girls in the plane because I don't want to stop 15 times to the bathroom. I just drive myself. And my inner voice talks to me the whole time.
Right.
You know? I mean, that could be called schizophrenia, right?
right. I like to call it I like to call it a business meeting. You know, you're in a meeting.
You know, I was told that's where I win most of my fights. You know, like in the car, like I straighten out my girlfriend. I'm by myself, but I'm like, yeah, talk to me that way. It's my house.
Right.
I get the shit off my chest.
Right.
But my inner voice speaks to me and tells me different things, and you want to write this and ideas. I bounce off my own head. What is your inner voice saying? You're at mile 14.
Yeah.
And I imagine you're probably like, I want to stop.
Yes. Sometimes I'm like, man, I could be doing something else right now. Like, why am I doing this? You know?
Yeah. So what does the inner voice tell you? And is it something about the run is high that I hear about that I've never experienced?
Right. Yeah, it is. It is. The voice does, you know, it kind of like speeds you up to like the finish line. And you're like, man, I just want to hurry up and get this done. I want this to be over. And then, you kind of like push past that, right? And then you just kind of enjoy the ride. Just like anything else in life, it's like you wake up, you're like, oh, I got to go do this, I got to go do that. You're driving, you're like, oh my God, man, it's better be fucking good. Like, you know what I mean? And then you get there and you're done and you're on the way home and you're just like, yeah, it wasn't bad. You know, what's for dinner? You know, like.
Yeah. It might happen at different times, but at what point do you coast at some point? It probably happens differently, right? Different marathons, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, do you be like, man, I got this rap?
For sure, yeah.
At what point do you think that usually happens? The 0.2 at the end?
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, man, like the last little bit, because that's the only part that you could really kind of start floating, you know? And even that, you know, chances are, well, not even chances are, anytime I've done a marathon, man, when you get to that mile 24, 25, 23, once you hit the 20s, man, it's like, you're kind of falling apart at that point.
Yeah,
you know,
wheels are coming off.
Everything is like just ripped up and you're just like, you know, you're cramping in 3 different places. You have the energy of the crowd, you know, you start, you really start breaking down, man. Like that's when I love it because that's, you know, as somebody who seeks that thrill or that edge, it's like, dude, you go through all these, you're like loco. You're just like crying, you're laughing, you're falling apart. You're you don't know what the fuck is going on. And then, you know, you get to this point of like fulfillment when you get to the finish line and you're like, man, I just went through all that. Like I was crying, laughing. I'm completely in pain.
Right.
I cannot feel my legs, but I did that.
Right.
You know, and if there's anything that's,
it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, you're as a business person, as a visionary, as a creative, you go through these same motions where you're like, we were just talking about it last night, right? It's like it's about sustaining, you know, the will to move forward in business and in life and in sport. And to me, it's like that's all the same thing, you know. To be able, that's all running is the will to move forward. So it just so happens that like we actually run marathons. So, you know, as long as you have the will to move forward in sport and in life, you know, you'll get it.
That's really cool. Like I said, it's you know, I've ran before. I did 5, 7 miles, a couple of things that I did. You know, I did charity runs and stuff.
Love it.
But once I don't have the knee anymore. I have, you know, my lungs are shot. But groups. Running as a group, like how do you get these people together? I'm sure your social media, you guys contact each other. Do you feel you have to push each other like, hey, guy, get out of bed. Guy, get up. You got to do this.
Yeah.
That happened?
That's a big, you know, part of running with a group, you know, because not everybody's going to want to get after it sometimes. And you yourself, you're not always going to want to get after it sometimes. Right. So, yeah, that's a big part of the group thing, man, is accountability. Which is, you know, it's like the pro and con, right? Because the pro is when you have a community of people, it makes it easier for everybody. And it also builds like camaraderie. So now we feel like we're a part of something together.
Right.
And on the other side, as a crew leader, like, you know, there's been times where I've shown up to some of my club runs and dude, there's like 70 people just sitting on the block ready to ready to hit it. And I'm just like, damn, man, this is great. Like, everybody's ready to get it. Or there's sometimes where, let's say, if I don't feel like doing it this morning, I'll look at my phone and I'm like, oh, this guy's already doing it. Yeah. Oh, this is already done. Yeah. All right, I'm up. I'm done.
Right.
You know, so that, to me, the pendulum swings both ways with running in a group. You know, sometimes they motivate you, sometimes you got to motivate them. But when we're working toward a common goal, whether it's we're going out tonight for 3 miles or we're going to go run the New York City Marathon, when we complete that 3 miles or we complete that 26.2 miles, it's like, job done. You know the Kobe clip where he's like, job not done, job not finished.
Yeah.
It's like, job's finished, you know, for now.
Nice. So Run Champs.
Run Champs.
Let's get into that.
Run Champs is an amazing thing that was born super organically, man. It's something that I started with Nori and with my friend Mitch. And, you know, it started about a little over a year ago, very much in the same way we were just talking about group running, where, you know, we all live in the same area and we liked running. We do running. and yeah, man, it started just with us running in the morning, super early, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Oof. And I know, it doesn't sound fun.
It's terrible.
And we,
for me anyway.
Yeah, no, sometimes for us too, you know, but it started as just accountability runs. That's how we would start our morning and start our day. And it would help us both, it would help us all go into our day with that fire. And it was just our thing. And then the name, we have a group chat, and the group chat was just called Run Champs. And so after we ran the Miami Half Marathon, that's where, you know, I just felt like we had the momentum to do something more, and we were all in shape. And I brought the idea to Nori. I said, hey man, you know, we should just run the New York City Marathon. And he looked at me and he said, man, that is one of my bucket list things I want to do in my life. So I knew somebody who knew somebody. We made some calls, and we got accepted to run the New York City Marathon. And we did that with about like 10 other people. You know, we made 10 other people marathon runners for the first time. So it was my responsibility to train and bring everybody through to the New York City Marathon. We did that, man.
Everybody finished?
Everybody finished.
One piece?
Yeah, everybody finished in one piece. And Nori became the first, you know, rapper to run the New York City Marathon and complete it, man. You know, there's been other entertainers, you know, well-known producers, other athletes, but like the first rapper,
yeah,
is him. You know,
I saw you guys at the Two Bears.
Yes,
last May, right?
Yeah.
That was at a 5K.
Yeah, that was a 5K, the Two Bears 5K in Tampa. Yeah. We had an amazing time there. Nori and Bert Kreischer had this amazing relationship. Yeah. And yeah, we have Bert Kreischer on a show that we're recording as well. So Bert came to run with us. And yeah, it's amazing because we're bringing, you know, Run Champs is showing that you don't need to change everything about your life to be healthy. You could just make a little tweak, you know, like you don't need to be dramatic.
Right.
You know, Nori's still himself. He still lives his life authentic to his liking.
Right.
And, you know, we're just advocates for running and just, you know, implementing a bit of health in your life to extend the shelf life of it, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's what it's about, right? Because this, again, none of us are getting younger, like you said, but you want to make the years you got in front of you better. Yep. You know, listen, we can't drink like we used to. We can't hang like we used to. You know, I drink 2 Sprites and I wake up with a hangover. You know, but you know, it's like when I saw you guys over there at the Two Bears 5K, it was cool. And remember, I did a lot of walking. I didn't do a lot of running. You know, like,
right?
I'm just shot. But I look great. I don't look a day over rigor mortis.
Come on, man.
but I went there and I walked it. You know what I mean? Halfway through. You know what I mean? And it was cool, man, because I saw you guys, and we linked up for a minute, took a lot of great pictures and stuff, and I was like, you know, Bert Kreischer is a big dude. First of all, I didn't realize how big he is. He's a big dude.
He's a big guy, man.
Yeah, and took a picture with him. I'm like, how you doing? He was like, no shirt as always, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he was cool, man. He was cool. And it was nice that you guys put us on that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. It was a great event.
Yeah, it was a great event. Now, going from that into coffee.
Yes.
Because my partner and I, we have several Airbnbs and stuff, and we try to stay in business and, you know, the good tax write-offs. But I started supplying my Airbnbs with your coffee.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, brother.
Thank you so much.
And I haven't had a complaint. And people have, like, a lot of my renters, they're like, hey, listen, you know, where'd you get that coffee from? I said, this is order online. I have a whole thing.
That's amazing.
So I hope that it's helped your sales.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
Because your coffee is actually in my Airbnb listings and everything.
Man.
Like I say, it's supplied by, you know, the No Sleeping Coffee Company.
Thank you so much, man.
No doubt.
And that warms my heart, you know, to hear and we do, you know, we do see the sales. And you know, No Sleeping Coffee was really came about just when you think about, like, when I think about producing products, you think about like the lifestyle, right? So like coffee, running go hand in hand. Being Latino and coffee go hand in hand, you know.
Sure.
And it's also a family business, you know. Big shout out to my guy Nalo, who, you know, he makes amazing beats. Our relationship was based on him creating beats for some of the productions I was doing.
Right.
And then he, you know, told me one day in my driveway, was like, man, you know, my family has this coffee business, man. And, you know, we have a finca in Colombia. He's Colombian. And, yeah, I've always wanted to do something with it, man. You know, I just don't know what to do.
Right.
And I was like, brother.
Came to the right source.
Here's what we're going to, you know, and I just told him, like, man, we should, if you'd be interested in collaborating with me, man, and we could start a No Sleeping Coffee company. And he was like, yeah, man, you know, you'd want to do that? And I said, I would love to do that. And the process from that was about like maybe another like year or two before we even got to like a bag design, and then like maybe like another like couple months, maybe like a year. It was probably about like a 1 to like 2, maybe 3 year process to when we like inception to like bag with bean, a pallet being shipped this way. Like, so when I talk about like the marathon and running a marathon and that like desire to want to move forward in life and sport and business, like, you know, the same way with like a film, you know, with Flux, it's like, dude, you hit all these roadblocks. You're like, man, is this really worth it?
Yeah.
It's like, do I really need to be working on this right now? Like, but then, you know, you stay the course, and not just stay the course, you own the course, and you see it through. And now look, you know, like No Sleeping Coffee is in your amazing Airbnbs that are getting, you know, booked and looked and they're getting, and now our coffee brand is getting exposure in your Airbnbs. Flux is on streaming platforms. Like
I put the coffee in the movie too. You know that, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that. Oh man,
it's there for a minute when in the scene one of the cops gets attacked and he goes to get a first aid kit. And he opens the cabinet. He's roughing some shit.
Oh man, I got to run that one.
We had the camera on a God, what's that called again? Oh gosh, yeah, like a what's that called again? Jesus Christ! And it's pointing down and everything. A crane.
Crane. Yep.
And he takes it and he had to do it like 10 times because he kept grabbing the coffee and just fucking tossing it. Right.
Right.
So I'm like, no, it's not in the shot. He's like, what you want me to do? Put it down. I'm like, just take it and just push it out the way. So you kept throwing the coffee off the shot.
Yeah.
So it took like 15 fucking takes.
And finally, the coffee's going for a ride.
Yeah, exactly. Finally, he dumps it and boop, and it lands on the floor, right in the shot.
Wow.
I was like, there it is. That's a wrap.
Awesome.
You know.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah. But listen, I'm always, you know, I think I have several subscriptions to your coffee company because people love it, man. People.
Thank you so much.
We have some here. I have some in the Airbnbs, and whenever I go places, like I'll go someplace to myself to stay in the Airbnb, I always bring a bag of your coffee.
Thank you so much, man. That means a lot.
I put it on the counter. I don't open it.
Right.
Because people will take something that's there, even though it's a full bag of coffee, they open it, they'll throw it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what I do, I take your coffee, I put it on the mantle or whatever, and I just leave it there. It's like my little gift to people.
Right,
and hopefully that helps. Listen, it costs me nothing, right? Because I already paid for the coffee, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's nice that, you know, to get that out there. And little things like that, remember, there's something just to, you know, hopefully get you out there. That's it. That's all it is.
And we greatly appreciate it, man. And that's something that we're being a lot more intentional about this year, with like trying to get out there and being boots on the ground, as opposed to, you know, just relying on online initiatives, running paid ads and stuff like that. Like showing up in the community. You know, I bring it to all the run functions and sample out. So, you know, it's a labor of love. You know, coffee is a part of my life, and now it's a part of Melissa's life. You know, now she's drinking coffee in the morning. You saw me this morning. I'm like making coffee for her. She's like, that's like my routine. You know, I wake up, I make my coffee, I make her coffee, I walk it to her, and you know, now coffee is something that we get to enjoy each other through. You know, and the fact that it's in Colombia, you know, that's where Melissa's from, and you know, I know it brings her a sense of like pride and joy too.
And it's good.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's good coffee.
Thank you.
It's good coffee.
Yeah, which is most important. You know?
Like my cousin's like, bro, it's like, and he drinks, you know, espressos and stuff. He's like, it's a coffee, that. Man, got my heart going.
Yeah,
that's the point of it.
That's right. You got to wake up and get it going. That's actually on the bag. Like, get it going.
Yeah.
That's like one of our taglines.
Everything you guys are doing is great, because not only are you, I guess, encouraging health and longevity in your life, but also for your career, but all the different you know, moves you're making.
Yeah.
And career longevity is what you're really after, right?
Yeah, it really is, man. And I think there's something to say about, you know, anybody who is open to remixing their idea of what life is, you know, or what you're about, or seeking better, breaking out of the old, seeking the new. You know, that's what longevity is, man. You know, and I'm inspired when I see other people get comfortable with being uncomfortable, you know, because that shows that you are, you know, you can't just always do the same thing all the time, man. And for me, it's like, I'm with the evolution. I'm with whatever's going to extend my shelf life, whatever's going to be beneficial for my family, you know, because at this point, we have a son. It's no longer just about me taking life to the face.
Right, family.
You know, we have to do things that are, you know, they have to think about others. And we also, you know, just the same way you have crews that you work with, actors you work with, like there's people that you feel like their success is contingent on the things that you bring them into. You can't always do the same thing all the time. You can't be used to what you used to do. And I think I just have that kind of personality when like I feel stagnant, or I feel like my surrounding isn't really adapting, or if things are just, you know, still feels like still water. Yeah, I got to change, man. I got to switch it up, you know?
I always used a very common phrase when people are like, oh, you know, because I was a bit of a mess when I was younger, and, you know, I'm still trying to heal. I had to unfollow everything that I did. All my natural instincts, everything that I did, but was drinking and hanging out, staying out all night, just, you know, bad relationships, and just everything that I did was just counterproductive to building myself.
Right.
It masked itself as good times. Some of it was actually good times, you know, but, you know, there was a lot of regrets afterward, and you felt like shit. And, you know, again, so I had to unfollow all of that and say, what do I want to do here? You know, because I saw my friends dropping like flies.
Yeah,
because it's a culture thing with drinking and partying. It's a culture. It becomes like, when we were younger, right? What did we do? You know, Thursday through Sunday, we were out every Friday night.
That's right.
What's the new spot? We're here. We're linking up there. You know, like you said, popping bottles and doing everything. And then you get to an age where it's like, all right, I gotta stop doing this. I'm killing myself.
Yeah.
You know, so you know the career longevity is you can't have that without the health longevity. Right.
Yes.
Right.
It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand, exactly.
Yeah.
And what you guys are doing is incredibly inspiring.
Thank you, man.
You know, I watch you guys. I love all your stuff that you're doing online. And, you know, same thing I told Melissa. I really appreciate you guys coming here, because I know you guys are heading to your vacation right after this, you know.
Yeah, little staycation, you know, which is awesome too, man. Like, you know, you know, Melissa got us booked for this collaboration with a hotel. And, you know, we're calling on more of that, you know, to just be authentically ourselves in this time. And really just get the ROI on our time, man, because it's not always about being in the trenches. You know, it's about elevating and getting more for your buck. And because you know what good is years of experience if you don't like level up, or if it doesn't work for you at some point in time. You know, so for me, you know, I'm grateful for opportunities like this, and for opportunities like a stay at a hotel that we're collaborating with, and we could got this saying, you know, working not wishing. Like I still want to work for those things, right?
Right.
But I am wishing for more opportunities like this and like that.
Sure, absolutely. You know, I give all my guests. Any last plugs? Anything you want to pitch? Anything you want to keep an eye on in the future?
Yeah, man. You know, look out for a show that Nori, myself, Mitch, the Run Champs, we are coming out with a first of a kind interview show, and it's going to be on a major TV network, which we're going to be announcing soon.
Nice. And
look out for that. Look out for No Sleeping Coffee, nosleepingcoffee.com. Yeah, you know, and just keep in touch, man. I'm working on a few things.
Yeah.
Working on a few things.
What's your IG handle?
At Los Antonio, LOSANTONIO. You know, certain things that just sounded a little. Yeah, I had Los Antonio.
That's nice.
Just look it up. I'll pop up there. Just hit the follow button.
I thank you guys for coming here. Like I said, I know you took time out of vacation.
Nah, man. Thank you.
As always, you know, we push everything Latino, man. We try. Not the only thing we do, but I like to put the focus on Latino because, again, we have so many things to add.
Yes.
And people like Los and Melissa are just awesome folks who just come on and always put their best foot forward. And you guys are really inspiring. And, you know, I'm losing weight now, too, so thanks.
Come on, man. Let's go. You know, we got some sazon to sprinkle into it. It's all natural sazon, though. Yeah. It's all natural.
That's what I've been doing, just salt and pepper and stuff.
Yep.
I'm staying away from the stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you the one that we're using. It's like an all natural adobo, all natural sazon. Is really good.
All right. So while we get off the air, he's going to biohack me, I guess, with new additives and spices that don't blow me up.
All natural ones.
Yes. And again, this is Chateau Bow Wow. We thank you for tuning in. Again, stay blessed. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Be cool.
Peace.